And now, Effective Communication with Phil Zeller, CEO, Dale Carnegie, Southwest Michigan.
You ever been called in the office and your boss challenges you? I mean, they question you in a way that you think, come on, really? You've probably been there. So there I was in the boss's office, and this is back in my information technology days, and I worked in IT, and I was an IT consultant in information technology. And I remember every year I'd go in for my annual performance review with my boss, and my boss for the first several years, he'd always say the same thing. It was kind of, to me, like a broken record. Phil, you have to become more competent. You have to become more technical. You have to understand the technical nature of things. And so you have to become more competent in how everything works. And interestingly enough, every year I heard that, I was like, okay, well, I'm learning, I'm growing, I think I'm doing a good job. And his challenge to me was become even better than I was. But the question is, how do you take it when you're in that meeting with your boss? Do you take it as a negative thing, I'm not good enough? Or do you say, you know what is he really trying to say? Well, for him, it was pretty specific. It was, Phil, you got to become more technical. So I listened to him, and rather than getting defensive and getting angry with him, I said, you know what? Challenge accepted. It says Dale Carnegie would say, Principle 21, throw down a challenge. And that's how I took it. And I would challenge you this year when somebody calls you in and wants to share something with you, take it as a challenge. How do you get better? It makes life so much easier than get defensive. So I took it as a challenge, and it was really funny because what I started to do is I started to make a game out of it. And I don't know if you ever did that, just make a game out of something, make it something fun that you can do. And I decided that I was going to wallpaper my office, my whole office, and technical IT certifications. And I didn't share it with anybody, just what I decided to do. From the floor to the ceiling is wallpaper my office and technical IT certifications. So I started this quest, and it was a 5-year quest. And over a period of 5 years, I was getting myself technically certified in IBM, 3Com, Cisco, Microsoft, Novell, all of these different technologies out there at the time. And I was becoming certified in all of them, so that I'd earned the right to be seen as competent when speaking about those technologies. And I lined my whole office, all the walls of my office, from the floor to the ceiling, with these technical certifications. And for 5 years of doing this, I remember I ended up, my office was right across the hallway from my boss's office. And year 5, I'm in the annual review, I'm sitting there with the boss, and he says, okay, what are we going to do to improve? Phil, I don't know what to tell you. Because every day he had to walk and look across my office, and my walls were wallpapered in technical certification. So for 5 years in a row, he'd said, Phil, you got to become more technical. And now it's kind of hard to question how technical I was with all these industry certifications plastered from the floor to the ceiling in my office. But I did that as a challenge to myself. I took an action to say, I'm going to live up to this challenge he threw down to me, and I'm going to prove to myself, him, and everybody else that I can become that person. So my first thing I'm going to challenge you with in understanding is don't get defensive. If somebody throws down a challenge, you don't take it as you're not good enough. Ask yourself how you can become better. Your goal is to become competent in what you do. And I was fortunate enough that in his mentorship in that way, he was throwing on a challenge to me and challenging me to be more competent in what I did every day. And it really helped me because I was able to elevate and accelerate my game and the level of my competency level in IT. And so some of the things that you can do to stay competent in what you're doing this year: stay current in your field. What's going on in your field? Demonstrate the technical, functional, and job-specific knowledge required for the job responsibilities that you're doing, and make sure you're living up those expectations. Develop credibility with others because of your in-depth knowledge. Have these discussions with people about what's going on in your industry and what you're studying, what you're doing, and share it with people of like minds so you can grow together. And what's going to happen is people are going to start to want to have more of these conversations with you. You're going to be invited to share these concepts with other people. Often where now I get invited to all kinds of things, especially in the world of communication, to say, hey, can you share your wisdom with us? You have a unique perspective spending 10 years in IT and now being an expert in communication and human behavior. So my challenge to you is this. Don't get defensive. Take it as a challenge and challenge yourself to grow, to become more competent. Learn the things that you need to do. Stay current in your field. Have those discussions with people in your field and constantly look at ways of how do I become more credible in what I'm doing. And if you do this every day and you take action steps from me, it was these certifications, but you take note of your growth and your confidence will grow. And that's the key, my friend. As your competence grows, your confidence grows. Now go make it happen.